The advice, instruction, and information on alternative wellness techniques given herein is not a substitute for, nor should be mistaken for conventional medicine. Always seek first the guidance of your healthcare professional before endeavoring to add complementary medicine or alternative wellness to your conventional healthcare regimen. Neither Dr. Michael Leike nor anybody associated with Blog Talk Radio, YouTube, or any other social media, blogs, podcasts, and webcasts that Dr. Leike appears on do not necessarily endorse any of the advice given herein. Coming up next, my fourfold path and the 4 techniques for getting you on the road. Welcome to the Fourfold Path and Dr. Michael Leike's spiritual tools and technologies that will increase the quality of your life. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me this day. I'm Reverend Dr. Michael Leike, and assuming you've been following these episodes, we've done about 9 so far, they've prepped you to get you on the road to the fourfold path to enlightenment. And they included the spiritual tools and technologies of mystical contact or higher consciousness meditation, spiritual prayer, or if you want to refer to them as scientific prayer, affirmative prayer, prayer treatments, and the third one being envisioning or imaging. If you've been practicing those for some time, you are primed and ready to hop onto the fourfold path towards enlightenment. In fact, even with the beginning of mystical meditation, you were at the beginning. You were already on the road to the fourfold path to enlightenment. And we'll be back. Now in its 10th season, listen and watch Fridays to Dr. Michael's podcast and webcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, YouTube, and Facebook. And we're back, everybody. As I was just saying, if you've been doing your spiritual practice consisting of the spiritual tools and technologies of mystical meditation or contact meditation, also known as higher consciousness meditation, as well as scientific or affirmative prayer, as well as envisioning or imaging, then you've been well on your way to enlightenment regardless. You've been well on your way to oneness with who and what you truly are. Peace, love, joy, harmony, higher intelligence, wisdom, and creativity. And with that, you've already been evolving. You've been allowing your soul to come up more to the forefront from the very center and nucleus of your mind. So it's been a very exciting journey if you've been on this path, if you will, for more than 6 months, hopefully a year or more, which is really, these techniques will be far more effective if you've been practicing them a year or more. So one of the indicators would be increased intuition. You'll find that something tells you, or you're guided to, or your heart tells you to go here, or to not go there, or to meet with this person or not meet with this person, or perhaps someone or a set of circumstances and people have suddenly come to you, or unconsciously you've been led to them. So this is increased intuition or God guidance, we sometimes refer to it as part of the indicators or symptoms, if you will, that you're on an increased path, a path of enlightenment, a path of higher resonation, a path that brings you closer to peace, love, and joy, or source, or another way of saying this is oneness with your higher mind, if you will. And so combining that, just mystical meditation alone, which will probably result in the long haul of healing any levels of your mind that contain things that need to be healed, such as trauma, negative karma, and that sort of thing, will naturally, over time, meaning years, be healed. If you just sit and meditate, do Eastern meditation or mystical meditation, as we've been covering over these lessons, then automatically any hindrances, blocks will drop away, will melt away into oneness with your higher mind, and therefore intuition will ensue. You'll feel happier, healthier. Your metabolism will increase, so you'll find you're moving a little quicker, accomplishing a little bit more in this world. And this more can mean what you're consciously wanting. Nothing wrong with that, but you really want your personal ego will to take over. You really, or rather, to drop away. You don't want your personal ego will to take over. That's the exact opposite of what we're intending here. You're wanting it to melt away into the intentions, will, guidance, prayers of your higher mind. And that's really the whole focus of all of this. The fourfold path, the fourth technique is allowing for your higher mind, for God, for peace, for love, for joy, to take over and to guide your prayers, to guide your actions, to guide your thoughts. So anyway, in the process of doing mystical meditation and the other two technologies, intuition will ensue, and you'll start to be more guided to what God, if you will, wants for you in this lifetime, which is actually your soul's purpose. So, for example, your personal ego, will, or ego identity, which is on the verge of dropping off thanks to your spiritual practices, may consciously desire a better job. Nothing wrong with that. Go for it. But allow your intuition to guide you how and where. Your personal ego, will, or identity may guide you to getting a different or a better vehicle, as long as you're being guided by source, as long as the motivation is pure love and compassion. For example, hopefully you're motivated to get a better or newer vehicle, or any vehicle, because you want to help others. And this is the crux of everything. If your heart is wanting to help others, if it becomes selfless, if it's from a different vantage point, not this down on the ground, boots on the ground sort of, oh, I'm in battle, it's us versus they, and all that sort of thing, that really isn't true. We live right now in times that really are somewhat deceptive. They really tend to show us or tell us or indicate, oh, there's a war happening, oh, it's us against them. And no. If you're higher resonating, if you're on a spiritual path anyway, you won't even be aware of all the other stuff, all these so-called negative stuff. You'll just be in your own power, which is the power of God. You'll be self-motivated to help others regardless. And in the process of doing that, you'll actually be helping yourself. So the motivation will be more God-guided. Your motivation, your views, a different perspective will be more of a higher realm, if you want, the upper room of consciousness. So look at what mystical meditation or higher consciousness meditation can do for you over time. It'll heal the traumas, it'll heal the rapes, it'll heal the thefts, the any assaults that you had. Now, I'm not saying do not seek out the help of a professional, and by that I mean commercial professional, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist with degrees, preferably university degrees. All that sort of thing should work tandemly. Do not just use the spiritual technologies to try to heal yourself. It will only partially heal things. Not everything will be cleared up. I am more than just suggesting you seek out medical science, you seek out the medical health system, as far as a commercial doctor, a GP, anything relating to that genre, absolutely scientists with labs, all that sort of thing for testing, x-rays. Definitely go that route. Do not avoid that route because you're all excited about the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is only meant to augment everything. And such as when we refer to body, mind, spirit, body and the mind, emotions and the body, the physical, science, the emotional, the psychological, as well as the spiritual, all of it combined will result in good things. Not just one or the other. Never, never just one or the other. So, this being said, if you've been on this health regimen, eating well, eating whole foods, whatever is prescribed at this time by your medical doctor, by your physician, augment everything, including exercise. Hopefully, your doctor has prescribed regular exercise, Western exercise. I'm going to differentiate very briefly in the summation between Eastern and Western. So Western exercises includes anything that may be strenuous. Sorry, that's true. People out there who are physical coaches, those that do body training and all that, I do not mean to offend when I say strenuous. I'm just comparing them to Eastern exercises such as Tai Chi, such as Qigong, such as yoga, which do not appear strenuous, which do not rip tendons and muscles, which do not break bones, but in essence accomplish the same, just differently. It's hard versus soft in Eastern lingo, if you will. It's accomplishing, for example, good circulation or better circulation, flexibility, balance, that sort of thing through yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, Eastern exercises. Moving meditation is another term for it. Do not neglect the physical exercises, the Western exercises, by any stretch of the imagination. Do not ignore Western dietary solutions. Whatever's popular now may or may not be valid in a month, a year, 10 years down the road, because we're always changing. It doesn't mean it's just a trend. It's our bodies always evolving. It's something, our physical body is the last to adapt to higher frequencies, higher energies. So the closer you get to God, the higher your energy frequencies, the closer you are to the energies of peace, love, joy, compassion, all that sort of thing, the more your body's going to kind of creak and readjust, and it may result in knee or joint pain. It may result in muscles or tendon aches. It may be misdiagnosed by conventional medicine, no problem. Everything will work itself out as long as you're also augmenting with your spiritual regiment as well. So as long as I've made that very, very clear, it's not just one or the other, it's all of it. We'll be back. Expand your consciousness and awareness with Dr. Michael's more than 40 paperback books of a self-help, mystical, new thought, and metaphysical nature, available from Amazon. And we're back. So the first on the road, the first of the fourfold path, assuming you've been doing all that work, is letting go of your personal ego will or personal ego identity. It's not as hard as you think. It's just a question of doing during your spiritual practices. For example, higher consciousness meditation and affirmative prayer and envisioning. Do the affirmation, I let go of my personal ego will. I let go of my personal ego identity. Include that affirmation every single day, several times a day during your meditation practice. And feel it. Breathe it in. Say it at least 3 times, first out loud. I let go of my personal ego will. I let go of my personal ego will. I let go of my personal ego will. And then softly, I let go of my personal ego will. I let go of my personal ego will. I let go of my personal ego will. And then finally, silently in your mind, and release it. So every single day, every time you do your spiritual technologies, do that one, do that technique. And it will begin to allow a breaking free that personal ego will, personal ego identity that comes from a very earthly, unhealthy plane, a plane where your unconscious mind is not cleaned up, to be dissolved into God's perfect light and love, peace, love, joy. You'll be coming from there. And over time, you will release your personal ego will or ego identity. And that is the first of 4 of the fourfold path to enlightenment. Thank you so much for joining me this day. I hope you'll join me next time. I'm Reverend Dr. Michael Leike. Peace and richest blessings. Welcome to the Fourfold Path and Dr. Michael Leike's spiritual tools and technologies that will increase the quality of your life.